Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. I'm so glad to see you all. It's already the 19th of October. The month is moving right along. Before you know it, it'll be Thanksgiving, then it'll be Christmas, and then it'll be the new year. I'm enjoying every single day. I'm stopping to count my blessings every single day. I hope you are as well. Listen, if you just passing by my channel for the very first time, do me a favor. Please stop. I promise you, I only need 1,800 seconds. That's all the time that we usually spend on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. But this channel is about inspiration. It's about motivation. Don't you hear enough bad news during the day as it is? Don't you hear enough negativity as it is during the day? Don't you hear enough stuff that would otherwise bring you down? Well, by the time we get to Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are about lifting each other up, inspiring each other, motivating each other, challenging each other to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. It doesn't mean that today was a wash. It doesn't mean today was a loss. It doesn't mean today was a flop. It means that we take the opportunity to see how can we do some self-improvement? How can we show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today? How do we do that, you might ask? We do it by reading through one of my latest books, Billboards to Better. There are several quotes in here. There's a quote for every day, including leap year. And we unpack those quotes. We talk about what those quotes mean and how we can apply them to our everyday life. And of course, if they don't apply to us, if they don't pertain to us, our trust is that they will pertain to somebody else. Well, tonight, you all, as I often start with what I call a brain teaser, I'm going to do the same thing, but do me a favor. If you're passing by for the first time, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, please. If you've been here with me before, go ahead and invite someone else to come along and let's talk to Cutler. But what I want to ask you tonight is about assumptions. How often do you make assumptions? Assumptions about circumstances, about people. How often do you make assumptions? What are they and why do we even bother to make assumptions? I really want to spend our time talking about that. And I got two more surprises I want to share with you as soon as I come back. Meanwhile, do a thumbs up on the conversation and go and get somebody else, bring them to the conversation and tell them, let's talk to Cutler. I'll be right back. Let's talk to Cutler. All right, I'm back, and tonight we are talking about assumptions. So I think what I want to go ahead and do is to shout out our LTTC VIPs. Listen, if you want to become an LTTC VIP, all you need to do is show up Tuesday and Thursday and be one of the first 3 people to move on over into the chat room. All right, I want to shout out Tracy Johnson, who says, hey, everyone, good evening, ready for the ride. Annie Cutler said, get aboard, let's ride. Rosella Davis, my friend, says, good evening. All right, so it's good to see all of you, and we're going to get started. We're going to talk about these assumptions, you all. But again, we are reading from this book, Billboards to Better. If you don't have it, don't let this stop you from participating in the conversation. You don't need it to join the conversation, but I would hope that you would get it because there are so many quotes, one for every single day, even a list of bonus quotes at the back. My goal is for us to get inspired every day. My goal is that you learn how to smile just because you feel like it. My goal is for you to see yourself better today than you were yesterday. My goal is for you to get motivated. My goal is for you to learn how to set goals yourself. My goal is for you to be able to start a conversation on a positive note. I have so many goals when it came to writing this book. I wrote this book with the hopes of sharing all of that and more with all of you, to learn how to dream with your eyes wide open. That's what this book is about, for you to be able to paint on a canvas that has no end. That's what this book is all about, for you to be able to inhale the breath of the Creator. That's what this book is all about, so that you can learn how to lend a helping hand to somebody else, and so that you can learn how to throw a party, even if you're throwing it in the rain. All right, was that a good summary of this book? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And that is also why I take the time to share this space with you. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me on these Tuesdays and Thursdays. By the way, you all know I usually don't wear just a regular t-shirt, but I have this one on because someone liked some of my quotes and made this t-shirt for me. And it even has, where am I here? This, by my name here at the bottom of it. It says, the biggest mistake you will ever make is to not admit that you make mistakes. I don't know if that's in this book or if that's just something that I said somewhere. But again, it's another quote by me. I think when I'm long gone, there will be enough things for people to quote me as having said. But listen, we'll talk about that 50 years from now, I hope. But listen, let's go ahead and get started, because I want to talk about assumptions, you all. I want to ask you, how often, and I want you all to chat with me, how often do you make assumptions? And I'm asking that for a reason. How often do you make assumptions, and what is your general approach to people? I honestly, I want you all to put this in the chat and let me know, what is your general approach to people? Do you believe that people are good until they are proven to be bad? Or do you believe that people are bad until they're proven to be good? Thank you. Somebody says, I like that t-shirt. Or do you believe that people are innocent until proven guilty, or guilty until proven innocent? Do you believe that people are trustworthy until they prove otherwise? Do you initially assume the worst, or do you assume the best? I'm just wondering how we respond to people. I'm so curious, what is our general approach to people? Because there is a quote that I want to lift and that I want to share with you all from the back of the book. I really, really do. I want to lift that quote, and I want to see what your thoughts are as it pertains to approaching people. How do you approach people? What mindset do you approach people with? Do you think people are genuinely good, or do you think that people are genuinely bad? What is your approach to them? I think maybe I'll just let this quote roll across the screen. The one that I want to talk about, you all. It's a bonus quote. It's not necessarily one that's listed in the main text, but it's one of the bonus quotes. And I want to share that with us this evening, because that's what I want to talk about. Assumptions and inferences will cripple you until you get the courage to search for answers. And then the quote goes on to say, just ask the questions. Just ask the questions. And so I'm looking at some of your responses. I used to assume, now I try to get to know them first. Learn at an early age not to make make assumptions. You all, I'm telling you, and isn't it interesting that we still do it anyway? Again, so this quote says, it's in the back of the book. It's one of the bonus quotes. I promise you it's there. But it says, assumptions and inferences will cripple you until you get the courage to search for the answers. Just ask the question. How many of us, I believe people are good unless proven otherwise. Okay, you all, yes, give me your approach to people. I just want to know, and I might just even highlight those. I may do something like this. Let's see, how can I do this? Tracy Johnson, I used to assume, now I try to get to know them first. Let's see, Annie Cutler, I learned at an early age not to make, I know that's assumptions. Let's see. Vertis says, I believe people are good unless proven otherwise. Yeah, I want to know what your approach may be, because we're here talking and we can learn from each other, you all. We make assumptions about so many things. Assumptions about products. We make assumptions about places, and we make assumptions about people. Or maybe it's just me. And so I had to ask myself, what are assumptions? Assumptions are conclusions that we draw based on a given set of facts. We draw conclusions about products, about people, about places, based on a given set of facts. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we have all of the facts. And why do we make them? We make assumptions because we don't have all of the facts. We do it all the time. We make assumptions when we need to fill in the gap with what we sometimes consider the missing information. We make assumptions when we have failed to sometimes ask the questions or to get the answers that we need, or when we don't trust the validity or the veracity of the answers that we've been given. So we'll make assumptions when we don't have all the facts. We'll make assumptions when we have facts and we still don't trust them. And I tend to think more often than not that it's not a matter of us not trusting the answer. I think it's a matter of us not having asked the questions. That just may be my perspective. That just might be my position on this. For example, how many times have we heard people say things like this? You all know I'm going with this one. How many times have we heard people say things like, she thinks she's cute. He thinks he's smart. They think they're better than anybody else. But think about this, you all. How do we really know what he, she, and they think unless we can get inside of their brain, unless we can get inside of their mind, or unless we've asked them? How do we know what people think? And what I found so unfair and so unfortunate is that we will adjust our behavior toward people based on the assumptions that we have made about them without even talking to them, without interacting with them, or without learning anything about them. We make assumptions and we will change our behavior. We base our interactions based on the assumptions that we've made about people. I've I've had people, since I speak to y'all from a very transparent place, I'll tell you this. I've had people to tell me that they thought I was cold and distant and arrogant until they got to know me. But if they would have only asked me, they would have discovered that I was withdrawn and that I had low self-esteem and that I had lots of social anxiety. But instead, there were people who made those assumptions that I was cold, distant, and arrogant, when if the truth be told, I was withdrawn, low self-esteem, and had social anxiety. See, sometimes we adjust our behavior to people not knowing the facts. There are women and young ladies who have been told they think they're cute. When if you really got down to the story, the truth of the story, you would have discovered that they weren't trying to be cute, but they were trying to mask the pain of having been abused and molested. Yet in our own minds, we spin the story, we make assumptions, and we respond to them based on the assumptions that we made without ever knowing the truth of the matter. So what am I saying tonight, you all? I'm saying let's stop making so many assumptions about people and have the courage to ask what we don't know. Let's stop responding based on assumptions and respond based on the evidence and the facts that we have been given. Let's stop so many times trying to spin the narratives and fill in the gap and have the courage to ask the questions. Why am I spending so much time talking about this? Why is this quote in the back of the book when it comes to assumptions and inferences? I'll tell you why, you all. Because I've seen relationships fail. I've seen businesses and churches crumble. I've seen lives ruined. I've seen children abandoned. I've seen people killed, all because of assumptions. All of that I've seen. Relationships, marriages fail because of assumptions. Businesses and churches crumble, fall because of assumptions. People's lives ruined, children abandoned because of assumptions. People murdered and killed because of assumptions. So what is my offering to us? You all know I never like to come to this platform without having an offering for you, my friends, my brothers and my sisters, my fellow passengers. What is my offering tonight? The courage to ask. That is my offering. I offer you the courage to ask. You're right, Tracy. You never know what people have gone through in their lives unless you get to know them. And so many times, rather than getting to know people, we make assumptions and we'll respond based on those assumptions rather than getting to know them. Here's what I know, you all. Sometimes we won't ask because we are afraid of the answers we might get. Sometimes we are afraid that the answers will prove that we were wrong in our approach to people. Sometimes the answers, if we would just ask them, y'all, sometimes the answers will prove that we were wrong in our approach to the situation, in our approach to the circumstances. Years ago, I was attempting to do some conflict resolution, and I was speaking with this lady who was so upset with this gentleman because allegedly he had written a letter about her. And I asked the woman, why are you so upset? I asked her, I wanted to know, why are you so upset with him? Have you seen the letter? Have you read the letter? Have you heard the contents of the letter? Her response was no, but I know it's some bad stuff in it. You all help me out. How in the world would you know that there's bad stuff in the letter if you've never even read it or heard its contents? I submit to you, she responded and changed her behavior based on assumptions. Why? Because maybe she was afraid that knowing the truth would prove that she was wrong. Doesn't make sense. Some time ago, I ran into a situation where a young lady cut off communication with some of her family members because of how she thought they might feel about the man she was going to marry. Cutting off communications and relationships based on what you think they might. Come on, think and might, that a whole pool of assumptions. Just based it on assumptions. And so I'm glad. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I thank you for liking the offering that I give tonight, the courage to ask. In our approaches, let's gather the information, get the facts. And then you can make your behavior, you can change your behavior based on the facts. Thank you. One person says, once I find they're not good after getting to know them, I'm disappointed and I separate myself from their presence. But at least you're then separating yourself from their presence based on what you know, not necessarily based on what you assume. I just find it so interesting that we will adjust our lives based on what we think others might be thinking. We cripple ourselves, and sometimes we'll cripple other people based on the assumptions that we make. I've seen siblings fall apart and stop speaking after parents die because they assumed what mom or dad may have been thinking, what they assume mom or dad may have thought about who was the favorite. And I'm not diminishing anybody's realities, because the truth of the matter is families sometimes live in such a way until children know. They are told. Behavior shows that. But I'm talking about those situations where sometimes people just start saying, well, I think so-and-so was the favorite. I think that mom liked me better. We make assumptions. Seeing families fall apart after loved ones die because, again, they think mom or dad thought this. So I don't want to diminish anybody who, if that's your reality, I'm not diminishing your experience, because I know those things occur. But I'm just saying, if you don't know for sure, and you're certainly not going to find out after they're dead, why not move on with life as harmoniously as you possibly can? I don't know why I'm stuck on these assumptions, but because people make assumptions about other folk and they're not always fair, you all. We make assumptions and we're not always fair. People make assumptions about us and they're not always fair. So what tonight, I'm telling you, I offer us the power. I offer us the power to pursue and handle the truth. Yes, that's where I'm going. I offer us the power to pursue the truth and then handle the truth. And I offer us the power to stop paralyzing ourselves and others out of ignorance. Ignorance is not a cuss word. It's not a curse word. It's not a bad word. Ignorance simply means that we lack the knowledge of something. And I offer us the power to stop paralyzing ourselves based on what we don't know. But pursue the truth and then know how to handle the truth. Why would I say all that? I said, you all, because I would rather move on with what I do know than to become paralyzed because of what I don't know. May I say that again? I would rather move on with what I do know rather than to become paralyzed because of what I don't know. Somebody said, you know what they say about assumptions or what they say about assume. Yes, I do. But let's not assume, you all. Let's not assume. Or let's develop the habit of making assumptions less and less, and exchange making assumptions with obtaining the facts. So on one hand, whereas we would make assumptions, on the other hand, we say, I'm going to obtain the facts. So let's do less of making assumptions and more of obtaining the facts. Because Because consider the story of the little boy who was told, you think you're smart. And if that little boy would have had a voice, he would have been able to say, no, I don't think I'm smart. I'm just withdrawn. I don't have as much self-esteem as you think, or I have social anxiety. Or the little girl who we would say, you think you're cute. And if she could have given her experience a voice, she would have said, no, I don't think I'm cute, but I'm masking the pain of being abused and molested. Got to be careful what kind of assumptions we make about people. That's all I'm saying, you all. Let's be careful about the assumptions that we make about people when we start saying they think, he thinks, she thinks. Until you can walk a mile in their shoes, until you can sit and stand in their experience, let's not make those assumptions. And I get it. Some people who are wrong become offended when you ask the question. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. But let's do better about ourselves. Let's do better about life. Let's do better about our sisters and brothers. Let's give them the courtesy of getting to know who they are so that we don't have to make these assumptions. All right? I really wanted to ask you all tonight. I wanted to have a conversation. I wanted to know what's going on with you all, because as much as this platform is called Let's Talk to Cutler, I can't really say what I was told, assume me. That's right. That's right. Some of you all saying the same thing. You know what they say about assume? Right. You all really don't want to say it here. But, some people say, when you assume, you take those first three words and, that last word, you, and then me. I get it. We know what assume, some people say assume leads to. But here, as I've talked about, how do we approach people? What is our general approach to people? I had a burning and a yearning this evening. I wanted to hear from you all, because this platform is called Let's Talk to Color. I wanted to know what was on your hearts and what was on your minds. One of the things that someone asked me about was word guard. They said, "Can we please do word guard?" But you all, I want to know what's on your mind. I want to know what you all are thinking. I want to know if you have any other topics that you want me to unfold and discuss as we're sharing these 1,800 seconds. You all know I have a lot to say and a little time to say it in, so I try to make the best of it. In fact, I will share this with you all. If you have a topic that you want me to talk about, because this is called Let's Talk to Cutler, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me an email at this email address, talk2cutler@gmail.com. Talk2cutler@gmail.com. I want to hear from you. If there are any topics, any subjects that you would like for me to broach, that you would like for me to discuss, that you would like for me to share, unpack, and unfold here, please send them to me. Why do I say that? Because I was a little behind in my email. So I went and I looked at my email and I saw that you all are so brave. You all have so much courage. You have so much perseverance. You have so much strength. And I drew strength from some of the things that you all share with me via email. And one of the things I will never do, I will never disclose what you all share to me in email unless you ask me to. But what I discovered is that some of you have dealt with death. You've dealt with disease. You've dealt with sickness. You've dealt with relationships. You've dealt with all sorts of things. Yet you're persevering. You're living from day to day, and you're doing the best you can to show up a little bit better tomorrow than you did today. I applaud you. I commend you. I salute you for your strength and for your braveness. Some that you have and others on this platform will never even know about. I salute you. I commend you. I applaud you. And I want to thank you for sharing those experiences with me via email. And if there's some that you share and you would like for me to unpack and share those on this platform, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'll never share them. All right. I've learned to be a good steward over the pieces of conversation that people trust me with. All right. So I want to do a little bit of word guard. I want to do a little bit of word guard. Let me say, yes, thank you, Sinket. I appreciate that. So let me also say thank you to you, because I don't recognize your name, and you all do me a favor. Sinket, let me know if this is your very first time joining. I haven't seen your name before that I remember. So you passengers, you all know what we do. We send out love, and we send out vertical. We send out virtual hugs and all of that. So you all make sure that you say a special thank you to Sinket for joining. Let's see, got it. I'll be sending you topics. I do like the way you communicate. I would love to learn how to be more assertive and not people please. Listen. And I tell you what, Sincat, we will definitely talk about that. So you all send me the topics. I promise you that is one topic that we'll chat about, how to be a little more assertive and not be as much of a people pleaser. Because guess what? We've all, to some extent, and I'm not going to go there just yet, but to some extent, we all deal with that. So you all make sure you say a special hello to our friend, our fellow passenger, Sincat. All right. I want to do something. I do want to go on to Word Guard for just a moment. As I've shared that one quote, and tonight that's the only quote that I share, but I want to go to Word Guard. You know, for me, Word Guard is about speaking positivity into our lives. Word Guard is about, but never caught it live and hello. Oh, I'm so glad that you caught it live tonight. I appreciate that. But our Word Guard is about being able to speak positivity into our lives and into the lives of people who are connected and attached to us. Word Guard is about choosing to be positive when we could otherwise be negative. Word Guard is about speaking life into ourselves and speaking vitality and speaking strength and energy into ourselves. It's about making a conscious effort and a deliberate choice to see the glass half full rather than half empty. All right. So then what I want to do, I want to talk from the space. I want to talk about Word Guard using the letter, since I've talked about assumptions, let's use the letter A. And I want you all to give me I am statements. I am statements. And then give me an I am blank, fill in the blank with the word that begins with the letter A. You all know how we do it. It's called Word Guard. So you all are giving me the words because these are words that we're going to use, you all, when you want to cuss people out, you want to fuss people out, you want to chew people out, give them a piece of your mind. So instead of doing that, you all, I need you all to start. I would like for you all to start giving me words that begin with the letter A, and we'll just unpack those positive words that, you know, the I am statements, and give me a word that begins with A. Yes, come on, let's do it. I am attentive. I pay attention to what's going on in my world, in my surroundings. I try not to let anything happen that I am not necessarily attentive to or aware of. So I'm attentive. I don't mind giving people my attention. And then, yeah, absolutely. Come on, let's do this. I am amazing. I don't necessarily think I'm better than anybody, but I don't think any situation is better than I am. And I am amazing because I'm crafted by the hand of the Creator. I am awesome. I realize that I'm a wonderful part of society. I'm a wonderful part of the world. I am just as much of a part of this world as the clouds, the trees, the moon, the sun, and the stars. I am awesome. I'm just not regular, but I'm an awesome person. Come on, y'all keep giving these to me. I love these. I'm attentive. I'm amazing. I'm awesome. How about you all? Come on. How about I'm appreciative? I'm appreciative. I learn how to be thankful for all things, all of my blessings, whether great or small. I learn how to be appreciative. I've learned how to be thankful. I aspire. I just don't move from day to day without having hope, without having goals, without having somewhere to go, without having somewhere to get, but I aspire. As a matter of fact, my aspirations are so high, like one poet said, I set my aspirations up among the stars, because at least I know, in fact, my aspiration is the sun, because on my way there, if I don't get to the sun, at least I'll be among the stars. So I learned how to I aspire. I am authentic. There's no other person like me. Even if I'm an identical twin or a triplet or a quadruplet, there's nobody else quite like me. I have purpose for being here. I'm authentic. You will never find anybody else quite like me. And that is not an insult, but that is a compliment to society, because I am authentic. I'm amusing. I know how to laugh. I know how to enjoy life. I don't take everything so seriously. As a matter of fact, I learned how to laugh, and I know how to share laughs. I am an accomplisher. I don't sit around and not do things, but I know how to make things happen. I know how to get things done. I have energy. I'm active. Not only that, but I'm adaptable. No situation is going to take me under. No situation is going to consume me, because I know how to adapt and overcome. I am abundant. You will not find me in a space of lack, but I've learned that my Father owns a cattle on a thousand hills. So I have abundance. I have an abundance of love, an abundance of hope, an abundance of things, an abundance of peace. Now that you all are working me tonight, I love it. I am active. I'm not lazy. I'm not lazy. I know how to be active and I move in life. I'm amiable. Listen, I am friendly. So that means you're not going to find me treating people nasty, treating people cold, treating people distant, but I am amiable. I am ascending. You will not find me just low doing nothing, but I know how to climb. I know how to pull myself up. I know how to go up. And on the way to up, I know how to pull people along with me. I'm appreciative. You all, listen, these are beautiful, 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 positive words. Powerful words. We're on word guard. How about this? May I give you this one? I am assiduous. I'm careful. I'm methodic. I'm persistent. I'm affable. Let me give you that word, affable. It's becoming one of my favorite words. AFFABLE, affable. It means I'm friendly. I'm good natured. Don't we have enough nasty people in the world as it is? I'm attractive. Absolutely. So yes, I am attractive because God created me and I possess the beauty that God has given me. I possess the strikingness that God has given me. And so not only will you find it on the exterior, but you will find it on the interior as well. I'm assertive. Assertive, that's not necessarily the same thing as aggressive, but assertive means that I'm a go-getter. You're not going to push me aside. You're not going to push me down, but I'm assertive. I know how to assert myself in all of the right situations. I love these. How about this, you all? And not only that, but I am affectionate. I know how to give and receive. I know how to show love. And that's just not necessarily love within the context of passion or that sort of thing, but it just means affection among my brothers, affection among my sisters, affection among my friends. You all, I want to thank you so much for spending this time because we went from the assumptions to all of these A words that speak life over us, that speak positivity into us. And the reason we do Word Guard is because we want to have a reminder of the wonderful things that we are, the wonderful things that we have, the wonderful things that we do, and the wonderful things that we can be. I want to say thank you all. I want to say thank you so very much. I'm appreciative. I tell people often, I appreciate you. Know that I truly appreciate you, Gregory, and I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate all of you for sharing this time in this space because I'm strengthened. I am strengthened and I'm encouraged. Whether you know it or not, this is not just a unilateral conversation, but it's bilateral. It means it goes both ways. I'm encouraged and I'm strengthened every time you show up. I'm encouraged and I'm strengthened every time you join me in the chat. I want to say thank you all so much for that because it lifts me more than you will ever know. And I hope that we're all lifting each other. So as we leave this platform tonight, I want to say this to you all. Let's keep building community. Keep building and growing even this community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Stay in touch. And not only that, not only building community and maintaining connectivity, but you all, there is the Delta variant out there. In case you have not heard, there's also another variant. It's called the R variant. You all be safe. Stay safe. Whatever you do, stay safe. Stay sane. Don't let anybody or anything make you go crazy, make you lose your mind, make you lose your peace. I said that to someone earlier. I'm a proponent for guarding your peace. And then you all do me a favor. Keep your heads up, and more than keeping your heads up, for God's sake and for your sake, for our sake, keep your hope up. Keep aspiring, keep knowing that there's greater in you and better within all of us. All right, I got to go, you all. So please know this, that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Good night.